Zane, I was just rewatching your match against Tyler.
Oh yeah, why would you do that?
I don't know, man. I'm weird. I'm a nerd, so.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself. So for those of you guys who don't know, we've got Rafael Lenhard on the podcast, and he took out Ben Johns in the first round of the PPA Orange County Cup this past weekend, followed it up with an incredible win over me, and then
That was the best
Noé
win.
Cleef, and fell to Christian Alshon. And, you know, I think unless you're really, really, really in the know of professional pickleball, this is the first time that a lot of people have heard about you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. This is so weird, man. I listen to podcasts all day long, and I've listened to your podcast before. I have total imposter syndrome right now. I'm like, how is this happening? But
it's not that big of a deal, trust me. Obviously, you must have played before you had heard of pickleball, like or the pro scene, and heard what people were making.
So I joined a league at Bobby Riggs Tennis Club in October of 2022. It was an 8-week league, so we played on Sundays. And it was, an older crowd, generally speaking, and I was kind of out there having some fun. Probably 3-5, 4-0 level, I would guess. And that was it. And then I didn't pick up a paddle until probably a year later. Once I started hearing about this, I think I went to go play at Poinsettia Park with a buddy of mine just to catch up. And he was in the know a little bit, and he started telling me about everything that you could do in pickleball. And I was like, oh shit, let's play some more and let's give it a try. So then we went 2 or 3 more times. I played in the PPA finals in November, end of November.
Yeah, that one in Dallas, the big one?
The one after that, the one that only the top 8 play in San Clemente.
Oh, yeah, at San Clemente. Gotcha. Okay.
And that was, for me, the official start. After that, I moved to Vegas and really started trying to set up practices and train, and that was that. Yeah, the rest
Vegas,
is history.
Of all places. Who you got in Vegas? You go play with Agassi or what?
Dude, I hope so. It's going to happen at some point. I'm friends with Alex Simon, who trains with him a lot, and our schedules just don't line up because I'm working in the morning, so I'm getting out in the afternoon. Shout out Andre Millett. He's a really talented player. We play a lot of cat and mouse, so that definitely helped against Ben.
Yeah, that was what I was most surprised with, to be honest, is people kind of assume, all right, if you didn't watch the match, your assumption is going to be Raf Lenhard is really good tennis player that just bashed a bunch of balls. You were playing neck and neck with Ben in the cat and mouse points, right? There's not too many people who can say that by any means. So you are a well-rounded singles player, not just a tennis player that came over. But take us through that match, because I'm assuming you haven't played, a Ben, a Fed, or one of those type of players in a competitive setting before this, have you?
No, that was the first time. And honestly, Zane, I didn't know I could do that, some of those points. I was like, whoa, what's going on? It was kind of one of those situations where you feel like you got a superpower and you're just like, what, can I cuss on here?
Yeah, go for it, dude.
What the fuck's happening, And after I watched the match back and I'm seeing some of these points and I'm going cross court and opening up the court, in my head, it didn't make any sense. But I'd never played those guys in a tournament setting before. I did play Colin Schick in October at the Vegas PPA, and he kind of just overpowered me. We didn't play a lot of cat and mouse points. But yeah, that is my base for sure, is hitting big serves and big forehands. But I have known that the cat and mouse is something I really need to improve on. And Andre is honestly really, really good at cat. He's scary. The guy gets any forehand with any time. He's just hitting a winner. So whenever we're playing points, it's forced me to try to get the ball down and anticipate and learn these skills a little bit more.
For sure. Yeah, interesting. So you win game 1. Ben, not taking anything away from you, Ben is known as a slow starter, right? Game 2, he turns it around. He's up, 8-2, I believe, in game 2, and you end up winning that one 14-12, which, obviously has got to feel incredible on this. And, I've got to ask, there's the controversial match point, right? And that's what, unfortunately, a big part of what people remember about this match is on match point, there was a backhand flick that Ben hit. You had a great get. After the point, he goes over to the referee and, starts talking about it being a double bounce. At least that's what I could gather from the live stream.
Yeah. And I think he was questioning maybe the last one too. But let's work backwards. Let's get to that. So you're 100% right. Game one, well, I was really, really nervous because I felt like I had to hit crazy shots. You can even see in the second or third point, I missed a backhand roll, completely whiffed it, and I was like, oh shit, like let's not embarrass ourselves out here. But he certainly, here's the thing, I've watched Ben a lot. I'm a huge fan of his game. He makes it super interesting. So I've seen a lot of his matches. I knew kind of what to expect, what shots he likes, what shots he likes to be more aggressive on. So that helped. But after I played one or two nice cat and mouse points in game one, I was like, okay, I can actually win this. That's when I first got that belief. And he certainly missed some shots that maybe he wouldn't otherwise have. Like maybe he was a little bit tuned out, which why wouldn't he be? I mean, he just won Atlanta, played great, and I'm just some random guy he's never heard of. So I turned it on, I won game one, and then I felt him up the intensity. I got down 2-0 in game two, and then he started to put a little bit more on his serves, get a little bit more depth, pace, and just make less errors. You could kind of, as a competitor, you kind of feel when the other person turns up the intensity a little bit. And so he gets up 9-2. I made a couple errors also. And then I think he relaxed a little bit. He missed 2 or 3 returns. I played a couple nice points, hit some nice passing shots, and all of a sudden it's 7-9, 8-9, 9-9. We play some of those highlight points.
It's anybody's game at that point, because then, you can't up the intensity at that point, because upping the intensity at that point just means sort of tightening up a little bit, to be honest.
Exactly. It's that bell curve. Exactly. You got to have some, which he had like none in game one, and then he found that medium. And then 9-9, I hit it inside in forehand winner. And then it didn't register to me right away. It took me like 10 seconds. I'm like, holy shit, I am match point on Ben Johns. This is insane. And then, we played the next couple points. We go back and forth. My second match point, I go down the line forehand. He carves a volley, and I have a sort of a sitter roll push that I make all the time, and I just shank that because my hands are shaking, as I go up to my paddle's like this in my hand. And then, we get to match point at 13-12. We played this crazy point.
You were everywhere in this point. You had like 5 crazy gets in that point.
Yeah, and there's one moment also earlier in game two where he puts away a back and flick, and I remember that in my head. I'm like, wow, that's a high-level shot. I don't see that often. I'm going to remember that. And that happened again in the last point, so I anticipated that. But the double bounce, is obviously like a very controversial call. What I want to say about that is if there was any doubt in my head in that moment that I hadn't gotten to that ball, I would have stopped play. Mm-hmm. But it just kept going. It was kind of one of those situations where you're like, I'm probably not going to get there, but I'm just going to fling my body and my paddle at the ball. And I did, and I look up and the ball's still in play, and I'm like, oh shit, we keep going. And so we play out the point. He gets that same backhand that he had gotten earlier on. I'm like, he's probably going to go cross here. So I take a step. I get there on the last shot, which is very similar to the first one. He misses that, and then that was it. And then he complained to the ref a little bit. He asked if he could challenge, which I wasn't sure why he couldn't. But I mean,
he wasn't allowed to on grandstand, huh? Because was that grandstand?
It was.
It was grandstand.
We had challenges in the quarterfinals. I don't know if we didn't have them or if he would have needed to stop the point.
I wonder if
right
it was
away.
Yeah.
I didn't hear what the ref said. I mean, I blacked out, honestly.
Yeah, for sure, dude. You got to celebrate your win.
Yeah.
Now, to me, I've watched it a bunch of times. And
same.
I can't tell definitively, right? If I was a betting person, I would put it at slightly more likely than not that it double bounced to me.
Yeah.
But you can't see it based on anything.
Yeah.
Have you watched it back?
Yes.
Have you taken a look at it?
Many times. I mean, it's all I saw pretty much that whole day and almost the whole week, right? When I would open up Instagram. And as I said, in the moment, zero doubt. Ireland asked me about it after the match, and I was like, didn't even think twice about it. And then it gets in your head because I've never been in these shoes. And then I start opening up Instagram, and then you see bounce twice, didn't bounce twice, bounce twice. And even my own friends are split between this.
Oh, dude, I saw the comments out there. The comments are ridiculous. You got, so many random people out there. honestly, if you and me are watching this and can't tell, nobody else can tell. Like, there's no...
And you get people explaining like the trajectory of the ball and this. And actually, I want to say this too, because when I got that ball, I look up and that ball it was spinning backwards. It had slice.
Yeah, there wasn't topspin. I noticed that. I noticed that for sure.
And
so
to me, that's
under
like
the ball.
you under the ball. And shout out to or not shout out, just recall to Federer, Burdich. Were you a tennis player, Zane? Are you a tennis background?
Believe it or not, I know you played against me and you saw my game. So asking
I don't know.
if I was a tennis player is disrespectful.
That's an insult. Oh, my bad. My bad. I'm burning bridges already. It's too early for this. Anyways, Federer, Burdich, 2009 Madrid. It was like the spin of the ball like was obvious that he had gotten like against the ground and the ball had topspin.
Yeah, so Burdich hit it down into the ground.
You know which one I'm talking about, the blue court.
Yep.
So anyways, like I'm seeing these comments and now I start second guessing myself. I'm like, what? Do people know something I don't? But it is what it is. You know, there's nothing. What I told my good friend Mike from Vegas is like, there's nothing I could really say to change people's opinions and whatnot. And for as much as I would have liked to not have any controversy and to just have a super clean victory, it's kind of a blessing in disguise because one is it builds callous, right? I'm sure it's not the last time that I'll be involved in some type of controversy. Like it just happens in sports. And I mean, I got like it had a lot of views, and I think for somebody like me that's trying to make this full time, that exposure is not bad. So.
Yeah.